The last paper presented by Dr. Ahmed Shaker, RMIT, University of State.
We've heard a lot of talks today about different aspects of textiles, about fibers, about weaving, spinning. There's just one thing which was missing, and I'm hoping that I'll cover that. That is people. So my talk is about textile education and training and Australian perspective. And I need to talk about Australia a little bit so we understand where I'm coming from. Australia is a very large country. It is much larger than Europe, with a population of about 18 million. So that's like Cairo population living in Europe, basically. Now, people in Australia are considered to be an asset, and that's why when we talk about textile education and training, or textile or education and training generally, we have to look at it from that perspective. Now, I'll concentrate mainly on textile education and training. So we need to look at the past, and we look at how the textile manufacturing industries developed over the last 30, 40 years. Now, in the 60s and 70s, textile manufacturing was fairly strong. Unfortunately, in the 80s and 90s, it had declined. Now, that put the education institutions into a fairly difficult situation. And we need to look at the 35 years from the point of view of the structure of the education institutions. So we used to have the secondary education, post-secondary education, institutes of technologies, and universities. That's 4 sectors. And then it started to change. In the secondary, we used to have secondary and technical schools. In the post-secondary and technical colleges, institute of technologies, and universities stayed the same. In the 80s, technical colleges have disappeared, and it became secondary colleges, secondary schools, and later on maybe secondary colleges. Technical colleges became technical and further education organization, which is called TAFE. In the 80s, in the 90s, and in the future, the secondary sector is called secondary colleges. The TAFE colleges became technical institutes, and the institutes became universities. And I think that's the trend around the world. And university stays as universities. So now we have 3 sectors. Now, in the past, industry required specific training, and that used to be a challenge for education institutes. And so what we used to do is we used to design specific courses which are short, to the point, and effective, but they're very costly. My paper, if you look at the CD-ROM, my paper contains specific examples of what I'm trying to say here, but I know the time is short, so I'll keep going. Yeah, let's have a look at the future. And the future in education and training always starts now, because when you educate and train, and you're really doing that for the future, you're not doing it just for this minute. Now, the Australian system has decided that we should have something called an Australian qualifications framework. But what is it? There is the AQF is divided into 3 sectors: the school sector, vocational education training sector, and higher education sector. So the first one in here just contains the secondary colleges, and they give like certificate of education. The middle one, with vocational education and training sector, they are responsible for at least they are invested into granting certificates and diplomas and maybe advanced diplomas. Certificates could be 1, 2, they call 1, 2, 3, and 4. Diploma could be called certificate 5, and maybe advanced diploma certificate 6. But instead of calling it certificate, they try to give it a higher sort of meaning name. In the higher education sector, you will find that there is an overlap with the middle one. By the way, the middle one is called the FET. I hear the word. It's called the FET sector. So I might refer to it as FET. But I'm not a FET teacher. Now, the higher education sector and the FET sector sort of overlap in the area of the diploma and advanced diploma. Now, this is the framework. Australia is very small, but people need to be able to carry their qualification from one state to another, from one place to another. So that's why they created that framework, which makes the whole education and training fairly uniform throughout Australia. Now, you just have to concentrate on the middle one, because I'm going to give examples as far as what the VET system is, because most people understand the higher education system, but this one is very new. Now, to satisfy the need of training and education in the VET system, a new sort of formation of training is called training package. Now, if you manage packages like a box or maybe like a building, and they consist of two main parts. One part which is underpinning knowledge and skills. Now, things which people have to know before they become well trained. So you can say a degree might be that underpinning knowledge for maybe a surgeon or a lawyer or whichever. And now, after that, certain desired skill to be able to work in life would have to be built on the underpinning knowledge. So that's what the training package really means. Okay. But why train? Now, training is necessary because of rapid change, and we know what it is like nowadays. It's a huge change, and we need to always be able to train continuously. Also. That's the short. Train is because of the rapid change. And training is critical for business success. And I don't need to really expand on that. And what does a training package actually do? It does that. It provides work-based training. So it is basically people get trained so they can get jobs at different levels. It's very important. Now, it creates a pathway to jobs. So, let's have a look at the training model. That's the VET sector I'm concentrating on. That's from certificate 1 all the way to advanced diploma, basically. And the advanced diploma and the diploma, it actually overlap with higher education. So that could be implemented in VET or higher education. Now, if somebody is going to obtain an Australian qualifications level 6, that's advanced diploma. So sometimes you call it certificate 6. Now, we expect that person to be able to work as a designer, high, which is the diploma. Just ignoring the names for now. The diploma would qualify people to be textile technologists, dye house managers, sales and marketing managers, so it's all management type of levels. Now we can go down the line like that until we go to the vet at school, in schools. So it is possible for anybody to start, say, either straight from school, or even after they leave school, without gaining the certificate from the school. They can progress up the ladder, up to an advanced diploma, and maybe if they are motivated enough, they can go up to national level. Now, we need to go further into what's a training package, how is it formed, and what goes into these boxes. Now, training package is a building block for vocational education and training programs. Now, there is a part of that is actually in the schools. Now, what are the components of this training package? The components are these three. First of all, industry competency standards. So industry decides what the standard is going to be. The package should contain an assessment guideline. In other words, how we're going to assess the person. So we can say they achieve that level of qualifications. And then packaging it towards industry standards and at the same time towards the USAID qualification framework. So these are the three components or the three ingredients which makes a training package. Now, how would a person gain qualifications? Well, qualifications are gained by assessment. In other words, the person has to be assessed that they've got the skills and therefore they get qualifications. First of all, we require an organization called Registered Training Organization, that's RTO. It's not a recognized training organization like it says, recognized qualifications. Recognized qualifications are given by a registered training organization. Anybody can become like that. Universities, institutes, they are all recognized training organizations because we have the quality control set up, we have the teaching set up, we have the whole training possibility set up. Now, how would I get them my qualifications? I can get that through on-the-job training and then be assessed. So I don't have to attend university to get an advanced diploma, for instance, or a diploma. I can get it through my work because I can learn a lot from work. Now, I can do it off the job. Let's say a school leaver can go that way and can get training and assessment and get qualifications. So that maybe applies to school leavers. And I can have a combination of both. I can have on-the-job and off-the-job training, and if anybody remembers the old apprenticeship courses, that's sort of what it is. And finally, I can have just assessment only. If I have the skills, and I have the ability, and I can prove it, I can get any qualifications I want. And that's a wonderful thing, especially if education and training is an investment. Therefore, you spend a lot of money on people, and you don't really want to waste that money and to go through sort of a specific structure. Now, how would I get my qualifications? First of all, the individuals has a range of skills gained through what? Either through structured training or working in the PCT industry. Assessment has to be gained through a religious training organization. And then I might be required to do further training qualifications. So that's sort of the different pathways. Now, let's have a look at the examples of a training package. Now, training package goes into something called fields. And within that field, we have different structures. For instance, product development field. So in that area, we require, say, how to select raw material, how to organize and interpret tests, how to write specifications, how to select dyes and develop dye recipes, for instance. That's just examples. In the production field, how to plan and implement production. In other words, how to get the production going within an organization. How to coordinate and set machines. How to participate in production planning. And quality, apply quality standards, or maybe in quality improvement, etc. Management, the same thing. Engineering and maintenance, the same thing. Now, let's take an example of an actual course, like a diploma course, diploma in textile, clothing, and footwear. And we can have either clothing, textiles, can have leather, whichever. This is a diploma in textile. That's just an example. Now, the diploma consists of 7 units, or 7 different packages. Now, actually, this is a little bit incorrect as far as compulsory and electives. They're all electives, but this is designed for school leavers. So we'd say, let's call it compulsory because we have to decide whether what to really do. Now, things like plan and organize non-routine testing. That's for investigation, for fault finding, for problem solving. Participate in design concept, production, product engineering, coordination of production, contribution to production planning. With these 5 would make a nice core. After that, the other 2 have to be selected from, say, a dyeing stream. Dyeing, we require to do some dyeing. Might require to do continuous improvement. Management stream. Now, globalization and export plays a very important role. So maybe providing global operation support, and that's how to deal with export, import, and after development of the product, how the product can be manufactured overseas. Coordination of external quality assurance. Production stream might be contribution to development of production or process, maybe participation in machine product related research and development. Now, before I conclude, the person can actually have all of these skills without actually studying, because a motivated person can maybe work, study, learn, attend conferences, maybe discuss with others, and just through life skills. People can have enormous amount of skills which should be recognized. So, in conclusion, education and training should be looked at as a lifetime activity. In other words, a person have to keep educating themselves, finding a way to educate themselves and train themselves. It's essential to individuals and society, and that's very important in a place like Australia, where a big number of people is very, very small, and individuals are very, very important to society. Of course, that applies to anywhere in the world. Only looking at it from the Australian perspective. And education training is an investment money, effort, time put in there, and have to be looked at it this way. Now, the structure of surveillance system, it is financially supported by the government, and you don't imagine how much the government spends on getting people trained. As I said to you, the system in Australia look at the value of people and try and sort of look after them. And individuals continue to be educated and trained throughout their lives. We have what they call third age university. And that's for all the people who actually retire, but they've got plenty of life, and they have to do something. They actually get degrees and so forth in their 70s, 80s, 90s. So when we say about their life, it really meant it that way. And then the role of the university have changed now from traditionally offering degrees and higher qualifications into actively engaged in programs at all levels of Australian qualification framework. My university is actually involved in the levels 1 to PhD. So there's 12 levels in there, and it's involved that way. And the university have got a system by which credits for hard skills are actually granted. Thank you very much for listening.
Any questions, please?
Dare I ask one question? I know we've got to leave.
Please.
I've got to use the microphone, haven't I? There's only 3 of us here.
No, I can hear you.
Okay. Oh, it's for the translators, it just explains.
All right, yeah.
Hi, sorry, Gayle Greenwood, Manchester Metropolitan University again. Very interesting, the lifelong learning thing. Does that mean in your universities you've got all different ages of students attending university?
Yes.
So
Of course,
on a
okay.
campus, you don't just have young people.
No,
You
not
have-
just young people.
Right.
And at the same time, we don't just teach in the university itself. We go out and we travel long distances, and we communicate through the web, etc., etc. So the university is looked at sort of. It's not the traditional. It is a web. It's not the traditional universities outside and anyway.
Right.
So we look at people who say doing certificate 1. These are supplied to university for further levels all the way up. And you know, it's amazing that a person might start as an operator because life didn't give them the chance to